Hello, students. Today we are going to learn a new chapter named Hanuman and I, and it is written by Rupa Gupta. Okay, then at first we can see who is this author. Here you can see the picture of the author Rupa Gupta, and Rupa Gupta. She is an Indian writer, playwright, and poet. She also wrote stories for children. Then one of her famous work, it is named as The Story of Hanuman. And she has also written books on Indian freedom struggle. Okay. Then before entering to the chapter, you just look into this picture, and here you can see a person who is standing on the stage and he is facing a large number of audience. Okay, then from his facial expression we can understand that he is nervous. Then here also you can see another picture that here we can see a girl who is facing the audience and she is getting nervous. That is what in the first picture. And on the other hand, here in the next picture you can see a girl who is speaking with much confidence to the audience. Here there's another picture that it is about an annual day celebration. And students, you may also got some opportunities to perform in front of a large number of audience. Okay, as your school is celebrating some special occasions. Okay, here this chapter Hanuman and I, it is also about an incident that is happening during the presentation of a play at the time of annual day celebration. Okay, here this play, it is about the play in the story, it is about Ramayana, or it is based on Ramayana. Here the main character of the story is a girl, and as they are going to present that play, then she expects one of the leading roles from that play, and she thinks that she will get the role of Rama, then otherwise Lakshmana or Hanuman, any of the leading roles. But unfortunately what happens, she gets the role of one of the monkeys in the Vanarasena, one of the minor roles. Okay, then whatever it may be, she was excited that much, and she's going to present the role very well. Okay, we can see what is happening in the story. Before that, you just make an idea about the main characters of Ramayana. Okay, here there are 5 characters: Rama, Sita, Lakshmana, Hanuman, and Ravana. Okay, here we can see only 5 main characters. Then here you can also see the pictures of these characters. The Hanuman is standing in the forefront. Okay, then behind him you can see the hero Rama, then his brother Lakshmana, and the villain Ravana, and the heroine Sita. Okay, now these 5 are the main characters of Ramayana. So let us move to the chapter and we can see what is happening. Okay, we were dressing up when the school watchman handed a note to the teacher. She read it aloud. Dear Madam, I am very sorry to inform you that Alka has contracted measles and has been running a high temperature since morning. Sorry, she will not be able to act in the play. Okay, here at the beginning, you can see that the school watchman, he is handing over a message to the teacher. And when the teacher reads that message, we can see that Alka, a girl named Alka, she is unable to act in the play because she is affected with measles. Then Alka was to play Hanuman. The teacher looked around in dismay and her eyes fell on me. Look here, she said doubtfully. You wanted to be Hanuman? You think you can manage? Okay, now the teacher got sad because Alka, she is going to play the role of Hanuman and it is now impossible. Okay, now the eyes of the teacher that touched over the girl, the main character of the story. And she asked that girl that, are you ready to handle this role? My dream was suddenly coming true. I was quite overwhelmed. Of course, I can, I said confidently. Even if I forget my lines, I can always think of something else. Okay, now the girl, she says that she's ready. Okay, and that much she is excited or overwhelmed with joy or surprised. Okay, then she also added that she can speak whatever she want from the stage. Okay, oh no, she said, you shall certainly not do anything, any such thing. I shall be prompting from the wings. All you have to do is repeat what I say, and for God's sake, don't mumble. Speak as loud as you can. But teacher said that, I will prompt you or I will help you from the wings or from the sides of the stage. Then you just repeat what I am speaking. Then you wanted to speak it aloud and do not mumble. Okay. As the curtains went up for the third scene, I was pushed on stage to the accompaniment of the drums. I almost fell on my face. For some time, I could not see a thing. The drums were echoing in my ears, and my hands and feet were cold and numb. I opened my mouth to say my lines, but my throat was dry and I couldn't remember them. Okay, then when the girl, she got the chance to perform, when the role, when the time she wanted to perform the role, she got pulled into the or pushed onto the stage with the accompaniment of drums, with the sound of the drums. That sound of the drums and the sudden push that made her nervous. Okay, then she was unable to speak a single word because she was very much nervous now. Thankfully, I heard my teacher reading out my lines again and again. I began repeating whatever she was saying without realizing what I was saying. Okay, then now the teacher, she is helping from the wings, and this girl, she repeated whatever the teacher is saying. I knelt in front of Rama, telling him with folded hands that I was his faithful servant. I would gladly die for him. Now it is a dialogue in that play. Then she knelt in front of Rama and she began to repeat this dialogue that she is the faithful servant of Rama and she is ready to die for the sake of or for the goodness of Rama. Like that, she began to speak. Oh my Lord, I repeated loudly what my teacher was saying. you have forgotten to pin your tail. Now the teacher, she is speaking to her as, you have forgotten to pin your tail. Okay. Don't be silly, hissed Rama. I'm not supposed to have a tail. You have forgotten yours. As the girl, she repeated the same dialogue of same dialogue that you have forgotten your tail. Then Rama, he tried to manage that situation. I touched the spot where the tail should have been. I'm sorry, my lord, I said, trying to make up for my mistake. I meant my tail. I have forgotten to pin on my tail. Now she understood her mistake. Then it was the first mistake that she repeated the words of the teacher. Then the teacher now whispered, jump, jump. I shouted, jump, jump. Now the girl, instead of jumping, the girl made next mistake. That was, she repeated the words jump, jump. You jump, Rama shouted at me. Then realizing my second mistake, I began to jump, and the curtains came down to the second laughter. Okay, when the curtains came down, what happens? The audience, they began to laugh. There and then, the teacher cut short my role as much as possible. But I had to be on the stage in the last act. Okay, now the teacher, she realized her mistake, that she understood that the girl, she is unable to perform her role, but the teacher tried her best to cut down her role. Okay, then I was feeling less nervous now and said my lines well. I showed Rama's ring to Sita to convince her that I was Rama's messenger. Sita said some beautiful lines about Rama's greatness and how much she missed him. She hid her face in her hands and began to weep. Suddenly, I realized that the teacher was prompting while Sita kept sobbing. Since Sita was not saying anything, I decided that was my turn to speak. Okay, now it is a scene from Ramayana that Hanuman, he is showing the ring of Rama to make Sita understand or to realize that Hanuman is the messenger or the servant of Rama. Okay, but in this scene, Sita, she has to perform as she is crying or as she is weeping. And when Sita, she is weeping, Hanuman thought that it is the time to speak. Okay. Then when the teacher, she prompted the dialogues of Sita, what happens? Hanuman, he began to speak the dialogue of Sita. That is what happening here. Okay. Then Hanuman repeated, my beauty is my bane. I said grandly, it is because of my beauty that the wicked Ravana wanted to marry me. Okay. Without understanding, it is the dialogue of Sita. Hanuman, he repeated these words. My beauty is my bane, or my beauty, it is my curse, or my bad luck. Okay. Then, do you think that Hanuman, he is beautiful? He has the face of a monkey. So, this is the third mistake made by Hanuman. Okay. Or the girl who played the role of Hanuman. What? Said Sita, looking up startled. Now, Sita, she got startled. Startled means shocked. Not you, you silly girl, hissed my teacher. Okay. Now, teacher, she said that, not you, you silly girl. Then, what happens next? Not you, silly girl, I repeated what the teacher said. Then, this girl thought that it is the next dialogue. So she repeated that words. No, you silly girl. That dialogue too. Okay. Seeing the startled expressions of the whole cast, I bit my tongue, realizing my mistake too late. But finally, she realized her fourth mistake. Just then, everyone on stage began shouting, Maharaja is coming, Ravana the Great is here. I was struck dumb by the huge figure in 6-inch heels, whom I hadn't known about until then, bearing down on me with a shining sword in hand. He said in a thunderous voice that made me tremble, who is this funny creature who dares to intrude into my kingdom? I was supposed to answer in a proud voice that I was the son of Pavandev, the wind god, the worshipper of Rama, the immortal Hanuman. Now the another character, Ravana, he enters to the stage. But the girl who is playing the role of Hanuman gets frightened by seeing the huge figure of Ravana and by hearing the sound of or the thunderous voice of Ravana, she gets nervous. Then, by hearing, when she hears the dialogue, who is this funny creature who dares to intrude into my kingdom? As she wanted to reply that I am the son of Pavandev, the wind god, the worshipper of Rama, the immortal Hanuman. But instead, what she says, we can see in the next lines. But Ravana was towering over me. She raised his sword, and I screamed in terror, don't kill me! I am not Hanuman. I pulled off my mask as I spoke. Okay? Instead of speaking this proud dialogue, okay? Instead of speaking this dialogue, that what did she speak? Don't kill me. I am not Hanuman. And she also pulled out her mask. That is what happening here. By now, the audience was rolling with laughter. The sound of laughter became louder when an infuriated means angry, teacher came on stage and unceremoniously means in a rude way, dragged me away. Okay, when she made the next mistake, fifth mistake, the teacher, she got angry and she dragged the girl from the stage, and the audience, they began to laugh. And this is what happens during the play or the presentation of the play at the time of annual day celebration. Okay, so I think that you got an idea about the main content within this story, and we will discuss the remaining part in the next class. And thank you.